Good day, everybody. I'm Jim Stavridis, the Dean at the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy at Tufts University, and I'm here today with one of our most distinguished professors, Dr. Leila Fawaz. Leila is a native of Lebanon and has been an iconic commentator and scholar about the Arab world, and notably about the history of the Arab world. And Leila, I'd like to talk to you today about your brand new book. It's called A Land of Aching Hearts, a very poetic title, and it's about the Middle East during the Great War. Just about 100 years ago. It has gotten unbelievably great reviews. I highly commend it to our alumni and to all who are interested in this turbulent part of the world. Leila, how did you come to write A Land of Aching Hearts? What led you to this particular topic?
I was thinking about this topic for a long time because I remember when I was a child that people talked a lot about World War I,
Yes.
not World War II. It's funny because World War II, in fact, one could almost say that the devastation of World War II in Europe is equal to the devastation of World War I in the Middle East.
That's a powerful comment.
It is not known that the Middle East suffered as much as Europe. All the books have been written about Europe and what it has gone through.
Indeed.
But now we're finding out, and a generation of very young, smart scholars are focusing on World War I, that it set the stage for the modern period politically.
Yeah, sure.
They're all dealing with the anger that they have blamed on others rather than on themselves. Although it's unfair, it really is also what the Middle Easterns did. I had a lot of trouble in this book finding leaders of that time period that were admirable, if I may say so. But the common people were very courageous in how they handled war. So the importance of World War I in shaping the present, the memory, very important, that it has had in the history of the region, and the memory it has had in shaping the present. I am now interested in if I can, to continue working on this in a different project in which how memory changes. For example, when this war occurred, people in the Middle East did not think of it as one war. They thought about their area in terms of areas, like I'm sure your great-grandparents, etc. But now they've had time to reflect, they have seen the suffering, and the poets, literature people, all the artists have come in, and the novelists, and they are creating now a memory of the war. So it's changing completely.
How interesting. And of course, there have been many books written about this phenomena in Europe, the Great War and modern memory, and so many different ones. But I think you're onto some terrific, and if I may say so, some breathtaking scholarship in this book. Leila, as you look at the events of 100 years ago, and you look at the events of today, both very turbulent periods, both very unsettling times in the Arab world. What can we draw from the experiences of 100 years ago that helps inform what's happening today?
I think that it sounds ridiculous, but I think that occupation, direct military or strong occupation, if it lasts a lot, it draws memories that become then blamed for everything that follows.
I agree with that.
And it's not the outsider's fault, but then you have someone to blame. So that was very much the case here.
Yes.
Even in the case of the Middle East, in World War I, the British and the French, the victorious powers, where the Russians had left with the Russian Revolution, the victorious powers sided with the Arab populations at the time who turned against their Ottoman overlords.
Right.
But the minute the war was ended, even when Lawrence of Arabia and others were marching into Palestine, and then from Palestine, as you know, when they went to Damascus as heroic winners, they pushed aside the Arabs who had supported them.
Yes.
And these suddenly were not equals, but now victors and their subjects.
I think that's an incredibly astute observation that I think you can drop a plumb line from the Great War to today with that lesson. As a philosopher said, we must be informed by the past, but not imprisoned by it.
Yes.
Leila, your book helps us think about time and the present through the prism of the past. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's a real
It's
pleasure.
an honor to have you here.